What the hell is going on at Nottingham Forest? Evangelos Marinakis, the owner of Nottingham Forest, storming onto the pitch at the end of the game after Nottingham Forest draw 2-2 with Leicester, which is poor on its own with how bad Leicester actually are. But what the hell is an owner doing walking onto the pitch, confronting Nuno Espirito Santo, the manager of the time? Is it his place to actually be on the pitch? I looked at this and I seen Gary Neville's comments and everybody else going on this straight away, and I was thinking exactly the same. And then I've listened to Nottingham Forest fans. I've listened to everybody afterwards, listening to Forest fans talking about the owner, what he's done, listening to everyone's opinions on this, and maybe Gary Neville jumped the gun a little bit because he said Nuno Espirito Santo should quit tonight with the owner coming on the pitch. Look, I don't think Marinakis coming on the pitch and dressing down Nuno Espirito Santo and asking him what the hell was going on in that game. It looked like he was really questioning what he was doing and questioning his job, basically, and his role as a manager. It looked like, yeah, that probably is bad on its own. And you would say, don't do that. Not in public, not in front of every single Nottingham Forest home fan. And it is a bit laughable, to be honest. But when you look at it, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking at all of the owners in the Premier League, I'm looking at my club, Manchester United, the Kroenkes, Daniel Levy, every single problem that every single Premier League supporter has got with particular owners. I'm not saying all of them, some have got good owners, obviously, but let's look at the ones that are bad. And let's just say, is this actually a bad thing? An actual owner with passion and love for a football club, who is there week in, week out. Yes, he may have got himself a comfy little setup at Nottingham Forest, but man, he's the owner of the football club and he owns that pitch. So really, realistically, if he is the owner, then he can do what he wants. It's his grass, it's his pitch, it's his staff, he's playing the wages, go do what you want. I said a minute ago, that probably wasn't the best idea, going on and having a go at Nuno. Nuno has actually come out afterwards, and Nuno, when talking about this, and talking about what he thinks after what happened with Marinakis coming on the pitch, he says Espirito Santo puts Evangelos Marinakis' on-pitch frustration, as he called it, down to emotions caused by an injury mix-up late on in the Nottingham Forest draw against Leicester. So Nuno's played it down. Since then, Marinakis has come out and said pretty much today's a day for celebration because after 30 years, Nottingham Forest are back in European football. I promise, I guarantee to Forest fans after they got promotion back up into the Premier League. He has gone on to thank Nuno after a fantastic job and all of his staff, and it all seems to have been played down. But again, there was a lot of reaction, and do you know what? Sometimes it's just interesting to see how people react instantly, because on the look of it, it looks quite bad. Like, what the hell are you doing? Should owners actually be on the pitch? Should owners have anything to do with the day-to-day running of a football club or on a match day? Like, do they need to be in and around the dressing room? Look, at the end of the day, it's his club. I just don't think English fans in particular are used to this sort of thing. Like, this is normal. Like, he also owns Olympiacos and the Greek culture, that Mediterranean culture, and that European culture around. And you can see this around all of these teams and the different types of ownership models all around the rest of Europe. When you look at it and you look at how everything is, that's the norm for them. This is what he's used to. And if you're willing to accept that owner in to bail you out and spend all of this money that he has spent, which is multi-millions on a football club, surely you have to accept the way that he is also. It's his club. And there are certain things that don't look good. But ultimately, what would you rather have? A Daniel Levy, the Glazers, Stan Kroenke, these types of owners at football clubs that are non-existent, that have been rinsing football clubs like the Glazers and Manchester United for decades now, taking money out, who never turn up, only turn up on the posh occasions at Wembley when there's something big going on. Literally, Marinakis is a fan of Nottingham Forest with a lot of money, who owns the football club, who has invested millions into that club and that team to get them where they are now. Would the Forest fans coming on saying, we love this, we love the passion, we love what he's doing? Wouldn't you rather have this at your club? Someone who cares for the fans, cares for the result, cares what's actually going on the pitch, rather than just the checkbook and the bank balance? Yeah, I get all of that. But would you have been all up front and backing that owner if he was down in the relegation zone like he was, and him coming on the pitch. I think it all differs in terms of where you are, what type of season you've had. He had a problem, obviously, with what happened, and it was a bad result for Nottingham Forest, and their season is just petering out a little bit. But let's not forget where Forest have come from. From getting back into the Premier League, from fighting off relegation last season, by dealing with the financial fair play and PSR debacles and everything that was last season in the Premier League. Like, they have come an absolute mile when you look at what's happened in the Premier League with them. And to be in Europe and now guaranteed Europa League conference football at least this season, with 2 games left to go and all still to play for the Europa League as well. I don't think they can make the Champions League. It is all to play for, and obviously we will look at that last game and watch it with interest with Nottingham Forest and see if there is anything to play for on that last game. But what you've got to look at, I think, of this and how you break it down is don't listen to Gary Neville. Walk away now. Like, you don't know. Like, Gary Neville, above everybody else, should understand that emotions run high in football, and fans do take to a certain type of character. I mean, if Gary Neville is all too willing to be bullish and shout out all of the rights and wrongs of football clubs and football ownerships and how much money's been invested and how improved certain clubs are, or how, like he has with his own club, Manchester United, slaughtered the ownership model for never being there or caring, for him to then actually come out and comment like he did, telling Nuno to actually leave his job tonight. Like, accept that there is a bit of emotion here as well, and emotions are running high, and you've got an owner that has put his world into Nottingham Forest, that wants the best for that football club, and might have overreacted on a particular game. I think the majority of the season is where everybody at Nottingham Forest will be looking, rather than an incident on the pitch. Nuno knows who he's working for. Nuno knows the emotion, man. This guy is in the player. This guy is in the mix zone. He's in the changing room. He's everywhere. This is just how he is. You have to accept that this is his club and he is going to do what he wants. I do think his statement that he's come out with is to cover himself a little bit. I think deep down inside, you're never going to get it in public. He's never going to come out and apologise and say what he's done is wrong, because it's his club. And there is no rules to say that he should not go on that pitch if he owns that football pitch at the end of the game. And I think that's what you've got to look at in all of this. Unless the rules are there, then everybody just needs to actually just accept that this is football and it's an emotional game, and there is a fan who owns a football club who is just living on the edge like every other supporter in that club. I've not heard one Nottingham Forest manager come out, one Nottingham Forest fan or supporter come out and really have a go. Like, there'll probably be a few that say, God, that was embarrassing or whatever, but the majority of the Forest fans love the fact that Evangelos Marinakis has got that passion and that love for their club. Do you know what? I bet Spurs, Man United and Arsenal fans would love that as well, and that passion. Somebody who's there, who lives and breathes the football. Let's not forget, he's at every single game, bouncing up and down, cheering, celebrating everything. Now, you could say that that's not the right type of ownership model that we're used to in the Premier League. But look, if he's willing to invest that money, if he's willing to go all in on Nottingham Forest and take them where they are right now, which is competing at the highest level in one of the toughest leagues in the world, then I think he's earned the right to actually go on the pitch and have a bit of a go at Nuno. I think later on, behind the scenes, I think he's got every right to say, what the hell happened there, Nuno? Or what is that all about? I think that's definitely something that he could pull him on. The only thing I'd have a little bit of an issue with is maybe don't do it in front of everyone. And I think he actually thought in that game that was a chance to actually close the gap. And I think that's what's actually taken over him in that moment. That's my own opinion. You get your comments in below, everybody, and let me know. But Nuno dealing with the owner Marinakis on the pitch, that's it for tat and everything. Is it right? Is it just what he's missing out of the game? A bit of passion and a bit of emotion? Isn't this what we've been all crying out for? Give me your opinions on this. Right or wrong? Marinakis on the pitch. Give the video a like, of course, and obviously make sure you hit that subscribe button as well for more updates around the Premier League.